This is from Governor J.B. Pritzker, who's the governor of Illinois, of course. According to federal data, 13 of the top 20 cities in homicide rates have Republican governors. None of those cities are Chicago. 8 of the top 10 states in homicide rates are led by Republicans. None of those states are Illinois, and yet Trump is sending troops here. However, you know, it's an interesting statistic, and let's say that he's right. The 20 cities with homicide rates, with regard to local politicians, the mayors, and even the judges that are voted in these big cities, they're all going to be blue cities. They're all going to be Democrat cities. Like almost all cities that are over 1 million in size are all run by a bunch of Democrats. So, yeah, I mean, Illinois is a blue state. So I don't know, why he's trying to posture with this, because you are in a blue state, sir, and Chicago is a blue city in a blue state. So why is this really relevant to you? I don't know. But anyway, he's replying to Donald J. Trump's Truth Social post. A really deadly weekend in Chicago. 6 dead, 27 hurt in crime sprees all over the city. Panic-stricken Governor Pritzker says that crime is under control, when in fact it is just the opposite. He is an incompetent governor, of course, and so are like the last half dozen ones before him, who should call me for help, which, by the way, weren't like 3 of the last 4 or 5 governors in prison. Mayor Johnson is no better. Make Chicago great again. So that happened. I don't think that... I'm sure I replied with something, but you should have shared the federal data you're citing, but instead you share a Trump post. I mean, yeah, I would agree with that. Oh, here we go. Somebody else shared something. Top 30 U.S. cities crime rate 2024. Well. Now, to be fair, you're not citing your sources either, good sir. Lifelong patriot. I don't know where this came from. Where did it come from? Crime-rate.com? No, that's the crime rate in and of itself. So, I mean, perhaps maybe he put it down in the description or in a comment. I don't know why, but all right. Yeah. Anyway. Well, this person says San Antonio and El Paso are blue. Yeah, El Paso is blue. So why is it red? I don't know. It is blue. I looked at the Texas congressional map after the changes that they made, and El Paso is a little blue dot right on the edge of Texas. So that one I know for sure. And San Antonio, yeah, it's probably blue. I mean, come on. Oklahoma City, all right, yeah, fine, we'll give it to them. But still, even if you give them all 4 of those, that's still 4 out of 30. And assume, like I said, I have to look at it on both. I have to be fair to both sides, though, because this dude didn't share his source either. So, if I'm going to throw flack at J.B. Pritzker for not citing his sources, I can't take that as the gospel truth either, even though it probably is. That wouldn't surprise me for a second if that's actually the actual case. So, things to do in Chicago. Leave. Do your fucking research. Based on the most recent 2024-25 crime data from the FBI and other sources, here are the top 20 U.S. cities with the highest violent crime rates, along with the political affiliation of their mayors. Memphis, Tennessee is number 1, Democrat. Detroit, Democrat. I mean, look, they're all Democrat. Every single one of them. They're all Oh, wait. Tulsa, Oklahoma, at the very bottom, Republican. But the other 19, the top 19 after 20, are exclusively Democrat. So there you go. All right, so we'll go ahead and move on to the next one. I got quite a bit to get to. At least I believe I do. I think I counted something like 40 posts. But to be fair, to myself, I would say those 5 or 6 or maybe 7 regarding the drug bust that they had found, I would kind of roll that into one because I didn't really spend a whole lot of time on each one of those. So maybe I've got like 30, maybe 33. So this comes from Rapid Response 47, 5 hours ago. Press Secretary blasts Governor Pritzker. For 13 consecutive years, Chicago has had the most murders of any U.S. city. This is J.B. Pritzker's legacy. Let's have a listen to this. This was from today.
As for Chicago and cracking down on crime, it is a priority of this administration to ensure that American cities are safe again. And I'm so glad that you brought up the crime in Chicago, because we've been seeing the governor of Illinois parading out there saying that There's nothing wrong with Chicago. It's a great place to live. There's no crime there.
No,
he
he's a
doesn't need
stupid
President
fuck,
Trump's
man. We all
help.
know
Well,
that
I think
Chicago's a
the residents
hellhole.
of Chicago beg to differ.
They don't call it Chirac
and
for
the
nothing.
statistics beg to differ, and I'll just share a few of those statistics with all of you. For 13 consecutive years,
here we go.
Chicago has had the most murders of any U.S. city.
Consecutive.
This is J.B. Pritzker's legacy, by the way. For 7 consecutive years, Chicago has had the
Well, yeah, and then of course the Democrats are going to say, well, I just don't believe you. I don't trust the information that you're getting. Dude, she's citing FBI data. Government data has to be the most trustworthy data that we have. And we've got .edu when it comes to medical studies and sociological studies and, with regard to the scientific community, we've got educational sources that we really should be taken as it says. Although a lot of that's been called into question because we have a lot of ideologues that are running these universities and so I don't know. But government statistics, what are you going to trust above government statistics? There isn't anything you can trust more than that. I mean, that's what we pay our tax money for, in part, is to try to keep accurate records of the state of our country and about any type of different statistic you could possibly imagine.
Highest murder rate among U.S. cities with more than 1 million people. In 2024, just last year, Chicago's murder rate per capita was 3 times higher than Los Angeles and nearly 5 times higher than New York City.
Dude, and everybody knows this. Nobody can hide this. Democrats coming out and saying, no, Chicago's perfectly safe. Trump is just an evil orange man dictator, and that's the way it is. Chicago's just perfectly fine. Dude, nobody fucking believes you. People who live in Chicago sure as hell don't believe you. Nobody does. Even the Democrats have been talking about how Chicago's got a crime problem for many, many years. And the number one issue that they always bring up on the left is gun control, getting rid of all the guns in Chicago. And every time they make an issue about guns, they usually point directly to Chicago. And now they've gotten 3,000 shootings last year, 3,500 shootings the year before. So anytime they bring up guns, they almost always bring up Chicago. And they say that we have to get rid of guns. We have to suppress the Second Amendment for the people in Chicago. Chicago. It's been an ongoing thing forever. We're not retarded, man. We all know this shit.
That's more than double the murder rate in Islamabad and nearly 15 times more than Delhi. Out of Chicago's 147,899 reported crimes this year. That's how many crimes have been reported in Chicago since January 1st. There have only been arrests in 16% of them. These numbers are unacceptable.
No fucking way. Let me hear that. I gotta hear that again.
January 1st.
Hold on a second.
And nearly 15 times more than Delhi. Out of Chicago's 147,899 reported crimes this year. That's how many crimes have been reported in Chicago.
150,000 crimes in the city of Chicago. Dude, that percentage has got to be insane. That's like what, like 1 out of 10 people commit a crime in Chicago or some shit like that. I mean, if you divvied it up 1 crime per person, I'm sure there's tons of them committing dozens of crimes in a year. But
since January 1st, there have only been arrests in 16% of them. These numbers are unacceptable. There have been more illegal guns recovered in Chicago than in New York City and Los Angeles combined. The number of reported motor vehicle thefts last year was more than...
Well, it's all Indiana's fault. It's Indiana's fault because they're just an evil red state that's right next to Chicago. That's where they get all their guns from. So it doesn't fucking matter, man.
Double the number in 2021.
It's still not Indiana, though.
And Chicago has also, just like D.C., come under scrutiny over discrepancies in its homicide data reporting. So as bad as these numbers are, perhaps they are even worse. And this is Governor Pritzker's...
Plus, how many of these cops, how many of these politicians are probably secretly taking all these guns out of the back door of the evidence room and selling them back on the street? I mean, you know that's got to be happening. Not saying it is, just an opinion. I know it's a little conspiratorial. I'm just saying.
He should put politics aside. He should pick up the phone and call this president, who would be more than happy to do right by law-abiding American residents in the city of Chicago, and we hope that he will.
Yep, sounds like they're eyeing Chicago. Well, they are. They are eyeing Chicago, and they damn well should be, because there's a lot of people in Chicago. They would welcome that. Look, if it takes President Trump to send in the cavalry to clean up the streets of Chicago, I think even a lot of the Democrats in Chicago would be okay with that. Like, look, man, I haven't walked out by myself at night in Chicago my entire adult life. That would be kind of nice to do. That'd be kind of nice to walk around and not worried about getting freaking carjacked or mugged or shot or whatever. I don't know, it'd be kind of nice. I'm not speaking for myself. I don't live in Chicago. I live in St. Pete. But yeah, I've been up there before. My sister lives there. She does. She lives up there by the Loop. She lives in downtown Chicago. And, you know, if crime wasn't so bad, I would consider her lucky. I mean, I definitely worry about her, but, you know, she does her own thing. Kind of ironically, she is on the left. We are completely polar opposites when it comes to our political stances. So that makes for some interesting Thanksgiving and Christmas gatherings. But we usually try to keep politics out of the conversation. But yeah, she is very much on the left. She used to be a professor over in LA, actually. So, yep, quite different. But anyway, whatever. So